into the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So something kind of interesting happened the other day where a buddy of mine was like, whoa, did you see this? Did you see it? That's incredible. Satan must be ice skating to work today because who would have thought? Hell hath indeed frozen over. I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, Glenn Beck endorsed Hillary Clinton. I was like, really? Are you sure?
Whoa, man.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's true. I mean, he's been a never Trump dude since the get-go. Said that Trump was grooming brown shirts as a reference to Hitler. So he's been very clearly anti-Trump for a long time. You don't come back from saying that they're grooming brown shirts to, I'm going to vote for him. Not if you're a person of principle. But what the interesting thing was I was like, that doesn't sound like a thing. That doesn't sound right. So what did I do? Bebobby boop. I headed to the Google. And I was like, let me just check this out. I type in G-L-G-L-E, and immediately up popped, Glenn Beck endorses Hillary Clinton. I was like, well, gosh golly and gee whiz. Could there be something to this? And there it was, in living color in front of me. Not on social media, although it was all over social media. Not on some blog, but a multi-gazillion-dollar company was the first thing that popped up with the headline, Glenn Beck endorses Hillary Clinton. America Online. And I was like, no kidding. Well, let me just, AOL is not the standard repository of all knowledge and wisdom, but this is the first thing that popped up, and, well, it's America Online. Folks that you would think would have fact checkers. Let me just read the article. And so I read it, and I'm going through it. I'm like, huh. I'm seeing stuff here about him not liking Donald Trump. I'm seeing stuff about him liking Donald Trump even less in the wake of the Billy Bush hot mic tape. But I'm not seeing anything that says he endorses Hillary Clinton. And you know what? He's not. Yet all over the interwebs and all over, quote unquote, legitimate news sources, there's reports of something that is just not true. And here is what he did say. And it's there in black and white on his Facebook page for you to read. He said that not voting for Donald Trump, even if it leads to Clinton winning the Oval Office, would be a moral and ethical choice. The idea that you may be throwing your vote away if you're not voting for one or the other, the idea that it's a binary choice. Well, for a lot of people, like Glenn Beck, and like many, many folks on the Republican side that said, I can't. There is a different choice. Not voting for someone else. Here's what he said. He said, it is not acceptable to ask a moral, dignified man to cast his vote to help elect an immoral man who is absent decency or dignity. If she is elected, the world does not end. Once elected, Hillary can be fought. Her tactics are blatant and juvenile, and battling her by means of political and procedural maneuvering or through the media, through public marches and online articles, all of that will be moral, worthy of a man of principle. Her nominees can be blocked, her proposal laws voted down. The alternative does not offer a moral person the same opportunity. If one helps to elect an immoral man to the highest office, then one is merely validating his immorality, lewdness, and depravity. There's really nothing new there. And he told the folks over at Vice that he considered voting for Clinton, saying, it's crossed my mind. It's crossed my mind, but ultimately I can't do it. And I know lots of people like that, and that's been the conversation since the beginning. People that, I can't in my heart of hearts vote for Trump. I know that Hillary is awful in her own ways. These are their words, not mine. But I can't bring myself to vote for Trump. Buddy of mine, Clay, said, I'd sooner cut off a toe than vote Democrat. Maybe I'll have to go fishing that day. But it's interesting. And what I'm getting at here is not Glenn Beck tearing down Donald Trump. What I'm getting at here is not Glenn Beck going after Donald Trump after the Billy Bush tape. What I'm getting at here is just how far we have skewed from the truth and how easily it happens in this political climate where people are angry. More on this next.
Real radio.
104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So I'm going to preface everything that I'm saying here today with this. You're voting Trump, you're voting Clinton. I am not judging you for your choice. It's a personal choice. And in this particular election year, it becomes a more and more personal choice that involves more and more soul searching. In this day of unbelievable division, a lot of people have taken this as an opportunity to get more and more resolute, more and more pig-headed, more and more snub-nosed about what they believe and about what they believe and about how anybody that believing anything else is just utter ignorance. You don't believe what I believe, you're clearly a moron. You clearly hate America. You're clearly on the side of evil. That's the rhetoric, and that does nobody any good. I've treated this election where people are strange and divided and angry as an opportunity for compassion, and I hope you do too. An opportunity to try and understand why people think what they think and how they got to that decision. And I think what's interesting about what happened with regard to Glenn Beck, who really said absolutely nothing new. He just kind of doubled down on being a never Trump in the wake of the Billy Bush sex tape. I think it's interesting because people have interpreted it as this. People have interpreted it. You know, you have those days where there is no amount of coffee in the world that's going to work. But people have interpreted Glenn Beck's words as saying that a Hillary Clinton presidency would be a moral and ethical victory and choice. No matter how much you can't stand her, if you are a person that is a never Trump and you allow Hillary Clinton to become elected, well, that's you. That's your true heart. That's your moral and ethical victory. Being an adult is about making those difficult choices, even when they're the right thing, I suppose. But let's pull this one over to the side of the reality turnpike. He is not endorsing Clinton. He is not voting for Clinton. He told the folks over at Vice that he'd vote for Constitutional Party candidate Darrell Castle. And if you're a Republican that's having problems with the idea of Donald Trump, maybe you look into Darrell Castle. Now, if you are a Trump voter, hear me on this one. I'm not tearing down you, and I'm not tearing down your beliefs. The interesting part of all this was how quickly we veered away from the truth. All over legitimate forms of media. Glenn Beck endorses Hillary Clinton. Hell hath frozen over. That's not what happened at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. But look how quickly people make up their minds about things. Look how quickly people are failing to inform themselves. Look how quickly legitimate news sources, and look, if you're going to jump all over me for calling America Online legitimate, you're missing the point. The point is not just, a blogger, not somebody on social media. This is an organization with fact checkers that went, Glenn Beck endorses Hillary Clinton. That's just not true. And I saw that all over the internet. All over it. And on the other side of the equation, this is where we're at. Donald Trump implied that there are more compromising tapes of him out there. There's more stuff out there. He also said he would attack the Clintons if any of it became public. So he's saying, it's out there, just FYI, getting out in front of it, but I'm taking the Clintons down. I'm taking the Clintons down if any of it sees the light of day. He was at a rally in Pennsylvania, and he said, if they want to release more tapes saying inappropriate things, we'll continue to talk about Bill and Hillary Clinton doing inappropriate things. He said Bill Clinton was a predator. Hillary Clinton systematically attacked and discredited the victims of Bill Clinton's sexual harassment and assault. These things aren't written by the media, but they're true. Doesn't really portray either of our options in a great light, does it? In these situations. No, it does not. People in a media that are divided, that fly with half-truths and untruths for the sake of headlines and clicks. People that would set aside their principles. Do something that was morally reprehensible to them because it's the only choice they have. I know Democrats that said, Hillary Clinton should be indicted, but I'm voting for her. Highest office in the land, in the world, leader of the free world. She should have been indicted, but the other option is just too much to bear. This is a binary choice. I'm voting for her. What does that do to your soul? What does that do to your soul when you sell a part of it away like that? Donald Trump might have advocated sexual assault, but Hillary Clinton defended rapists. I'm voting for him. What kind of a choice is that to make? You in your heart of hearts. If I said, hey, you want to go to lunch with someone that defends sexual predators, or do you want to go to lunch with someone that jokes about sexual predators being okay? And the fact that if you're a star, you can do whatever the hell you want to women. Which one of these people do you want to go to lunch with? Neither of them. I'm not bound to win, but I'm bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right and stand with him while he is right and part with him when he goes wrong. Abraham Lincoln.
Always fair and mentally unbalanced. KPRC AM 950, Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of yous, guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
So that's it. That's all. Those are our choices. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. And like I was saying earlier, if I said to you, would you like to have lunch with someone who jokes about being a sexual predator and says that they can get away with absolutely anything that they want to because of their celebrity status? Or would you like to have lunch with someone who is accused of systematically attacking and discrediting the victims of her husband's sexual harassment and assault? Which one you want to have lunch with? Probably neither of them. Yet these are two choices for president. And getting out and voting is important. It really is. But understand, no matter what happens when the dust settles, these being your options, or if you want to vote Libertarian, you want to vote Green, or you want to vote the Constitution Party, none of these people will get elected, but it might be how you choose to exercise your right to vote. Whatever happens in the next month or so, and in the 4 years that follow, know that we as America have been backed into making Sophie's choice. We've been cornered into an unthinkable situation. Now, if you are fortunate enough to 100% believe in Donald Trump and think that's a guy for you and feel completely secure in your decision to vote this guy into the highest office in the land as the leader of the free world, then you know what? If you've searched your soul and you've decided that's okay, I'm envious of you because you have an easier choice to make. If you have absolutely no doubt about Hillary Clinton, if you think that she's not someone that should have been indicted for some of the things that she's done, if you don't have that conflict of interest as you pull the lever of democracy, I'm envious of you as well. And I can't judge you, and I cannot say that you are right or wrong. As we've seen from the barrage of headlines stating that Glenn Beck has endorsed Hillary Clinton, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And if you feel like you have a clear path, well, that's how you're different from a lot of us at the moment. And in this situation, where we're being forced to make a choice, where America has been backed into the corner and is making Sophie's choice, it's more important now than ever before. In the run-up to the election and in the aftermath of the election, to know your heart, to be true to yourself. Not in high and mighty matters of politics, but in your everyday life. I can't tell you how important it is. Now more than ever before. It seems insignificant. It really does, because you just think, I'm just little old me. What difference does it make? No. Now more than ever before, it is so important for you, for your life, your integrity, the people in your surroundings. It is so important for you to go out and be the very best version of yourself that you can be. Kindness, compassion, empathy, helpfulness, and charity towards those in need and others. Things that will make you feel good. All of these things are things that are going to become more important in the next 4 years than they ever have before in your life. I honestly believe this. And again, if you're thinking, it's just little old me, what difference can I make? Trust me. Trust me. It's time you started putting more value in little old you and your impact on the world. Every last one of us. Every last one of us. If we're going to get through what the next 4 years entail, maybe even the next 8 and beyond, who knows? I mean, think about how we got to this point. Will we have learned our lesson? Will America have been cured of what ails it in 4 years? No. So it is now more important than ever before to be true to yourself and affect your world. One moment, one person, one interaction at a time. And again, I will say to you, I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right and stand with him while he is right and part with him when he goes wrong. Abraham Lincoln. It shows how horrifically backed into a corner we are here in America. When anybody comes along that says anything that makes any kind of sense whatsoever, you're like, oh, them for president? Can we vote them? Can we change it? Can they be? And the latest person to come along that a lot of people wish they could vote in, Ken Bone. Here's a question that got Ken Bone noticed by the whole country during the second debate. He asked about the candidates' energy policies.
What steps will your energy policy take to meet our energy needs, while at the same time remaining environmentally friendly and minimizing job loss for fossil power plant workers?
If you're on Twitter during the debate, you probably saw how everyone was going nuts over Ken Bone, who asked that question about energy policies and fossil fuels. He was wearing a red sweater over a white shirt and a white tie, and somehow this became the thing that everybody wanted to talk about. Yesterday, he did an interview on CNN and told them how he ended up deciding to wear that sweater.
I had a really nice olive suit that I love a great deal, and my mother would have been very proud to see me wearing on television. but apparently I've gained about 30 pounds. And when I went to get in my car the morning of the debate, I split the seat of my pants all the way open. So the red sweater is plan B. I'm glad it worked out.
It always happens, too. Internet finds a new favorite person. That person immediately gets offered a porn deal. Happened with Ken Bone. Happened with that lady who looked like Ted Cruz. You remember her for like 5 seconds? And Ken Bone, the man with the famous red sweater, big old day. Did a whole bunch of cable news interviews where he explained the red sweater. Like, Funkhauser, didn't you say that you saw like a whole bunch of whole bunch of different interviews, and he told that exact story in those exact words over and over again?
Yes. Better every time. CNN, NBC, CBS, MSNBC. It was great.
The folks over at Cam Soda, that's apparently an adult entertainment website, wrote Ken Bone the following letter. Dear Mr. Kenneth Bone, I hope this letter finds you well. During last night's debate, you captivated the world with your question about energy, your red pullover, and quite honestly, just by being you. While Donald and Hillary continued to bicker, we were especially distraught that your question didn't receive the appropriate attention that it deserved. With that being said, I would like to formally extend an offer for you to participate in a live show broadcast from our platform, camsoda.com, to our millions of fans. The show can cater to you and to your specificities, but we were thinking you could take us all to the Bone Zone and tell and show us what you're all about. In return for your participation in a live hour-long broadcast via our site, we will pay you $100,000 and provide you with 25 throwaway cameras to use at your disposal. Who knows, maybe you'll decide to announce that you're running for president. Yep. Sarah Yassine said Ken Bone gets offered $100,000 from an adult cam site because this is the world that we live in. There you go. Interesting times, to be sure. All right, Funkhauser. Speaking of the interesting times that we're in, let's do a little news, shall we?
All right, here it goes. Here goes nothing.
This is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser.
Thank you. Kim Kardashian has added some former Secret Service agents to her security team.
Well, you know. Makes sense, since Secret Service agents like to be around prostitutes. There you go. Makes that all shakes out to me. Kim Kardashian. So have you heard all the rumor and hearsay that it was all staged in a Ryan Lochte-esque way? Like it's not true. It didn't happen.
Over exaggeration.
Well, I don't know exactly what the dealio is, and it looks like she could be facing Parisian jail time. Which sounds like a title of an adult entertainment feature that I would like to own. Parisian jail time. Just because
Ken Bone.
and Kim Kardashian and Ken Bone and Parisian jail time. Apparently there was some... look, in a Ryan Lochte-esque way, she could have lied about being held up and bound and gagged and all of the above. And if that turns out to be true, there's jail time involved. And a lot of people are saying that it had something to do with the fact that, well, look, what happened right after it? Keeping Up with Kardashians goes on hold indefinitely. For the last 3 months, that show's been on life support. Like, ratings have plummeted. And, hey, look, that's just the natural way of things. You know, like, you have a good run, it's a few years, and they've had an amazing run doing something that I find to be not entertaining in the slightest and morally reprehensible and terrible that has contributed to that has contributed to the downfall of the species, but nevertheless, they had a decent run doing that TV show. And the thought is, it is the beginning of the end for the Kardashians and the beginning to the end of their massive amounts of income. If that show fails and falters, Kanye West was saying he was bankrupt a little while ago, asking Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion to go achieve his artistic visions. And yeah, here's the thing. If they are sort of like in a rough spot and they are seeing that they've overextended themselves and they are starting to see the beginning of the end, that's not a good look. And you never want the public admission of like, it's over. Our show's been canceled because no one's watching it anymore. That's a bad look if you haven't saved your pennies and stocked it away wisely. How they could have gone through the incredible amounts of money that they make on a regular basis, I don't know. And maybe it's just a PR move to try and preserve some, note the sarcastic air quotes around this word, dignity. But having if it's true, if they did stage an armed robbery and then said because of security concerns we're putting on the show on hold indefinitely, it does come hot on the heels of the world at large being very aware that the show is about to go away permanently for a while. So we'll see how this all shakes out. But if it is sort of an elaborate PR lie that involved a hoax that could land her in a Parisian jail, be kind of interesting. Go on, what else?
Foreigner will play their hits at Carnegie Hall, unplugged.
When Donald Trump heard Foreigner was playing, he was like, that won't happen when I'm president.
Are they playing The Wall? No.
That's
different band.
Different band. Go on.
Death Cab for Cutie has released a new song dissing Donald Trump.
Oh, hold on. I think I have some audio. Here we go. It's called $1 Million Loan. Here's a little bit of it.
He's proud to say he built his fortune the old-fashioned way. 'Cause to succeed, there's only one thing you really need. $1 million loan. Nobody makes it on their own without $1 million loan. And you reap what you've sown from $1 million loan. Call your father on the phone and get that $1 million loan.
It's catchy. and they wrote it because they were so offended by what he said with regard to getting a small loan from his father that they had to write a song about it. In response, Donald Trump says that Death Cab is no cutie. In fact, it's a 3 at best.
Oh. Okay, fine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hadn't heard one of those in a while. Okay, go on.
For his involvement in the leaked Access Hollywood footage with Donald Trump, the Today Show has suspended Billy Bush.
Yeah. Viewers won't note his absence. They won't notice anything. They'll just replace him with an actual D-bag and no one will be any the wiser. You hear Al Roker? You hear Al Roker filling in for Billy Bush, explaining that he's been suspended. It was like a kid on Christmas morning for old Al. We'll play you that next.
Now, more AD on the radio.
So, you want to hit the news bed, Funkhauser? We'll continue with some news. There we go.
Oh, you want me to actually hit it? Hold on, let me hit it. There.
Yeah, there you go. Early in the broadcast yesterday, Savannah Guthrie announced that Billy Bush had been suspended.
Another thing, pending further review of the matter, NBC News has suspended Billy Bush, the host of today's Third Hour, for his role in that conversation with Donald Trump.
And as if it needed any more explanation, Al Roker gleefully explained that Billy Bush had been suspended.
Now, along with Cameron. As you can see, Billy Bush not joining us today, as you're probably aware, part of that 2005 Access Hollywood taping with Donald Trump that's been in the news all weekend.
NBC, which owns Access Hollywood, has suspended Billy for his role in that conversation, pending further review.
Al Roker. Did you see it when they got, like, Al Roker and Billy Bush have history. They really got into it live on the air. over Ryan Lochte. Sort of Billy Bush was a Lochte apologist, and Roker was like, he's a liar and a scumbag. And Billy Bush was like, well, you say potato, I say potato. And there's an amazing piece of video floating around of Al Roker furiously stirring his drink as he's dealing with Billy Bush. Anyways, like I said, Christmas came early in the Roker family. Gosh. All right, what else?
Carrie Fisher says Donald Trump's sniffles are, quote, definitely due to cocaine use.
Which is why Carrie Fisher now supports Donald Trump for President of the United States of America. Go on.
Ben Affleck moved back in with Jennifer Garner and their kids.
Aww.
I don't care.
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner back together after his indiscretions with the lady who was watching the kids. That's nice. The whole family back together again. Plus a new nanny that Jennifer hired, a 900-pound woman named Bertha. Go on.
Luke Bryan is going to continue performing despite a broken clavicle.
Impressive, Luke Bryan, that you're performing with a broken clavicle, but still not as impressive as Keith Richards still performing even though he's dead. Go on.
Tiger Woods has pulled out of the Safeway Open.
Oh, well, good news for whoever was going to finish 17th. You've made the Sweet 16. Good job. Go on.
When Ryan Lochte proposed to his girlfriend, he gave her a custom platinum ring with a radiant cut diamond.
Well, that's what he told her. I'd take it to the jeweler if I were you, Ryan Lochte's girlfriend. Go on.
WikiLeaks released excerpts from Hillary Clinton's Wall Street speeches that contradict many of her campaign promises.
WikiLeaks dropped a whole bunch of information about Hillary Clinton talking to the wealthy elite, the banking system that hold us all in an undeniable stranglehold, and said that the things that she was saying to the folks that run the banks, very, very different to a lot of the campaign promises she was making. But sure, let's talk about what Donald Trump privately told an inane entertainment reporter instead. Go on. This is why. It's a difficult choice. America has Sophie's choice to make.
In this corner.
Unforgivable. Even the Donald said it's unforgivable what he said. Indefensible. And on the other side, someone that says one things to banks and then contradicts those things with campaign promises. She's lying to someone. Is she lying to the banks or is she lying to us? Go figure. Let's choose between these two. Go on.
Well, everyone's still talking about, obviously, Donald Trump saying lewd things about women on a hot mic from Access Hollywood 10 years ago.
Yep. It's got legs. I don't think it's slowing him down whatsoever, but people are still continuing to talk about it. It's bad. Bad for the Donald. So bad, in fact, that one of the people telling him he needs to get help is Anthony Weiner. The big question surrounding the video is nobody knows who leaked it. Is a thing. I think I got a little insight on that one. Nobody knows who leaked the video of Donald Trump saying lewd things about women on a hot mic with Billy Bush from an Access Hollywood shoot back in 2005. Nobody knows who leaked it, but I believe it arrived at the Washington Post wrapped in a pantsuit with extra room for cankles in the pants. Go on.
Rudy Giuliani defended Donald Trump's leaked comments about women, saying that men talk like that sometimes.
Although he failed to mention that those times tend to be right before there's a sexual assault. So there's that. I was thinking about this. I got a work email this morning. And I got a work email from someone that I do not care for. And I used a derogatory term about the sender of this email.
Deplorables?
It doesn't even come close. To say I used derogatory terms about the sender of this email doesn't even come close to describing the things that I said.
Bad dudes.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I'm walking the puppy mill house, having a great old time. Get an email from somebody that I do not care for, but have to deal with. And in this email is absolutely everything that I do not care for about this person. And I was just like, you know what? Things I can't say on the radio. And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about the Donald, and thinking about how, like, if there had been a hot mic around, if someone overheard me saying these things about this person, would I be in trouble the same way the Donald's in trouble? And now I'm not running for the highest elected office in America, but look, every single day when I crack a microphone, my character is on display. And far be it from me to say that my character isn't flawed. But I wonder if I could have gotten away with it. If someone had a microphone on me on my private walk with my puppy Millhouse, would my career survive after what I said after getting this email? I'm going to go out on a limb and guess maybe not. And it made me think, not sympathize, but it made me think a little bit more deeply about the situation that Donald Trump finds himself in now. That said, I don't think it's slowing him down at all whatsoever.
Boy, you sure talk a bunch, but then I've got a hunch that if I step to you, you back right down, can't see it through. You're a bitch and you're like Kool-Aid, you're just 10% juice.
Stimulated minds want to know, what were you thinking? No, really, give us a call and tell us. KPRC AM 950.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is.
The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
Yeah, alrighty then, Funkhauser. Let me ask you this.
What? I'm busy pushing buttons over here.
Well, when you see somebody and you think they're trying too hard, what do they tend to be doing? Be like, oh, they're trying too hard. That's just... What would you point at in this situation?
What do you mean? A conversation, kind of? Trying to be my friend, trying too hard? What do you mean?
Maybe sort of external things, stuff that they bought, clothes that they're wearing, maybe. I'm not asking you to answer this question now. You can think about it. Only because I figured we could use a little bit of a break from politics, and found an interesting story about stuff that you might be doing that makes you look like you're trying too hard to be something that you're not. When with the whole.
I love this story because right now I'm wearing women's pants. So
are you wait, really?
Bring it on? Yeah.
Why?
Well, my mom had an extra pair of pants. She said, I can't fit in these. Do you want them? And I go, are they unisex? She goes, I don't know. I go, sure. Tried them on. They were great. They're my favorite pants. No, not jeans. I look like a shaman. Big flowing.
What?
You'll see. I'll take a picture of it.
Can you tweet this so everybody can know exactly what the hell it is you're talking about? Because I'm having a hard time with this right now. Interesting, because I know there was a trend of guys wearing girl jeans for a little while because they fit a certain way. I think like John Bon Jovi was like, I wear girl jeans all the time. They just fit in a certain way. And then they started making low-rise pants for men, which I actually found to be quite comfortable. Like that whole thing of hiking your waistband up to your nipples. I find that to be like, no, thank you. If I haven't done enough sit-ups of late, I don't want it hanging over some incredibly uncomfortable, tight, and pinchy thing. I would like a pair of pants that sits low enough to where I can breathe out every once in a while. So I get the
this one has a drawstring
things. You're wearing drawstring pants?
Oh yeah, they're the best.
Drawstring.
I'm sending you a picture right now. The only problem with women's pants though is the pockets. Things fall out of the pockets.
Well, I was going to say, is it loose and flowy? And because you don't have a purse.
Plenty of room in there, except for items. You can't put anything in your pockets, but, ooh, boy, does it feel nice.
So what do you do with your wallet?
I have a purse. I bring my purse to work.
Wait,
right
you have a purse?
Well, I have a backpack. A merce.
You ever see that episode of Seinfeld where Seinfeld's got a European carry-all and it was like purse? He's like, no, it's a man bag. It's a European carry-all. It's a European carry-all. And somebody steals it from him. And he's like, stop that man. He's got my European carry-all. What? My purse. That man stole my purse. I used to have messenger bags. I did the messenger bag thing for a really long time, and people were like, "Nice purse." I was just like, "It's a messenger bag." They're like, "Really? Where's your bike? Are you delivering packages that are cylindrical or flat in a rectangular sort of way that necessitates a messenger bag?" No, you're not. So it's a purse. I'm a fan of. You know what I become a fan of? I think we go full circle with these things. I like a backpack. Backpack is good. I like a backpack. That's how I choose to roll. And just put whatever I need in my backpack. If I'm carrying stuff, it goes in the backpack.
Yeah, but I want to bring back the fanny pack. Because that's just as much space as I need.
No, you don't.
Come on.
No, you don't. Jared Leto. Do you remember this? Jared Leto, I guess, has a line of 30 Seconds to Mars clothes or whatever the hell his band is called. And he attempted for a second. It was really an interesting way for him to test the waters, socially speaking, in terms of his influence. I can wear anything. I can say anything, kind of in a sort of Donald Trump-esque way. I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street and I wouldn't lose any popularity. Jared Leto did the same thing with fashion. My career will take no hits whatsoever. I will still be cast as the Joker in that movie, and my records will still sell millions of copies, even if I try and bring back the fanny pack. I'm going to bring back the fanny pack. I'm going to say it's cool, and therefore it will be cool because I'm Jared freaking Leto. And the public responded and said, "We still like you, but that's not a thing. We will not be doing that because you are wearing a fanny pack will not make us wear a fanny pack." So I guess really the only reason the only good reason to wear a fanny pack is if you're like Funkhauser. If you're being true to yourself, I would like a fanny pack. I'm going to wear a fanny pack. It's just enough space. Here I go with my fanny pack. My name's Funkhauser.
Yeah, I could brand it. My name's just long enough to put on the back of your fanny.
How much time do we have
All right, go on and talk about your whole, story about
how much time
people,
do we have left?
9 minutes or something. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, so let's do a little bit of news. And trust me, that's not a long or good story. We'll get to it later.
All right, fine.
Wait. Here's hold, please. Here's a picture of you wearing women's pants.
Yeah?
Yeah. Did you tweet this for everybody to agree?
No, I can tweet it, though. Here, I'll tweet it.
Yeah, tweet it. Because, honestly, I'm looking at them, and they don't look like women's pants, per se.
Yeah.
I think you're wearing unisex pants.
I don't think so. My butt looks fantastic in these pants.
That could be just because you've got a fantastic butt, as opposed to you wearing women's pants.
It never really shows off in jeans.
Right.
You'll see. I'm about to tweet it at FunkFM.
I'm just questioning so many things right now. Not in a bad way, just in a questiony sort of way. Can open, worms everywhere.
Not enough time in the show for all the questions.
Go on, what else?
Arnold Schwarzenegger said he can't support Donald Trump.
Right, because, groping women is one thing, but talking about it with Billy Bush is another.
I won't be back.
How dare he? I don't know if we can say this on the air.
What?
Scott Briscoe.
Oh, to Twitter.
Scott Briscoe said, saying you like your jeans you like your jeans like an expensive hotel, not a cheap hotel. Why? Yeah, basically. Why do you like your jeans like an expensive hotel and not a cheap hotel, Funkhauser?
Why? Say that again. Why what?
Scott Briscoe on Twitter said, "Why do you like your jeans like an expensive hotel and not a cheap hotel?"
Why? Why do you want your jeans like an expensive hotel, not a cheap hotel?
Because a cheap hotel has no ballroom. Oh, gosh.
That was a good one.
Scott Briscoe also said people give too much power to words. I get that, and I understand that argument with regard to the Donald Trump thing. Because, look, the argument that came up immediately is like, what's worse? What is worse? Someone who could potentially be leader of the free world that has this sort of locker room talk is the expression that's been thrown around a lot. Or someone like Hillary Clinton who, and this is just the argument that's been trotted out there. It's not me arguing. But the argument goes, what's worse? Having somebody that uses this sort of locker room talk in private, or having someone in the highest office in the land that has defended sexual predators, namely her husband, and has shamed the people that have stood up against them. And we've talked about this a lot on the show. There's been omissions from Hillary Clinton's website with regard to this that kind of walks back some of her stances on sexual abuse because people say, hey, pot, kettle black, you've done some things in defense of your husband that aren't really congruent with the values that you put on your website. And Scott said too many people are butthurt over words. Goes back to what we've been discussing. People giving too much power to words. And I agree. I do agree with that. I agree with that. And I agree with that because of the chat I had with myself while walking the puppy mill house, getting an email from getting an objectionable email from a person that I find objectionable and saying some stuff that would not be a good look if it had been recorded. If you'd been there with me, you wouldn't have any problem with it. But you record it, it surfaces 5 to 10 years later without the appropriate context, and it's tough. Now, what I said was not even locker room talk. It was ugly. It was me name-calling in a very harsh and nasty way to myself. This is what I do. I work out my frustrations mostly behind the wheel of a car. I scream my freaking lungs out every single morning on the way to work 9 days out of 10. Why? Because I know I have to let it all go before I walk through the office doors because you can't do that stuff in public. I commit verbal Tourette's every single morning on my commute. And none of that would look good if it was recorded and resurfaced 10 to 15 years later. And would that be fair on me? No, it wouldn't. So, in terms of people putting too much emphasis on words, I get that. But when the words seem to condone sexual assault, when you can say, when you're famous, when you're a star, I believe that was the exact word that Donald Trump used, when you're a star, you can kind of just do what you want, grab him in the and it's okay. Look, again, he might not actually think that. But that is where, hey, people said something horrible and these are just words, to the point where folks are interpreting this as condoning sexual assault. That's where it starts to get stickier. Anyways, Carmen says, I agree with AD. These pants do not look like girl pants.
They are.
We tackle the big, important, and weighty issues on this show.
They don't.
But
even
I understand why people say too much power is given to words. Oftentimes, they are. People are judged unfairly based on things that they said in private. None of us would hold up 100% if you took a soundbite from somewhere in our life and, without context, floated it on the internet. But
imagine the stuff you said on the show in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Or just imagine the things that I say before we go on the air, Funkhauser. Imagine the hot death that I promised to dole out to engineers that have really done nothing wrong being made public. It would make me sound like Bill O'Reilly. F it, we'll do it live. All right, then. New survey finds things that used to be status symbols, but now they just make you look like you're trying too hard. A personalized license plate, a hot tub, flashy sports car, an expensive watch, a giant TV, a swimming pool. I don't think of a swimming pool as being a status symbol. I think of a swimming pool as being a glorious dip that washes away the awfulness of the day. I love swimming pools. I wish I had one. Gold faucets in the bathroom, a yacht, a pony, and fur coats. Number 1 and number 2 on this list, a personalized license plate and a flashy sports car. They make people immediately think, ugh, D-bag. And you know what's horrible? Funkhauser? There's a guy that works in this same building that bought a flashy sports car and put a personalized license plate on it, and he sells ads. He's a radio ad salesperson. And you know what his license plate says on his personalized license plate on his flashy sports car says? It says Ad Radio, which looks an awful lot like AD Radio. Everybody thinks it's mine, and they're like, nice new car. I'm like, I'm offended that you would think that I was the type of person that would A, drive that car, B, put that license plate on it. It's not me. And so the people that I haven't had the fortune of having this conversation with all assume that I'm into the most egregious examples of status symbols out there, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Nice car, dude.
It's terrible. Terrible.